So guys, Coach J here. Wanted to talk about UFC 253, Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa. Been doing a lot of analysis and looking at old fights of these two guys and just really, kind of brushing up on style matchups because it's really what it's always about style. And what I see is you got two strikers. Not much grappling is probably going to happen, even though Costa's, set to have some jiu-jitsu. Adesanya is clearly a kickboxer, doesn't use much grappling at all. But, we've seen attempts in the past, but probably not out of necessity. Probably out of necessity and not by design. So I would say this is definitely going to be a kickboxing match, right? Primarily, I would see kicks coming from Adesanya, punches from Costa. And I would say of the two, Adesanya is probably the more defensive fighter, and Costa's more the offensive minded fighter. So you got very clear distinctions in styles, mentalities, and probably game plan. Judging their past fights, I want to say that there's really no edge here. It's really who's going to implement their game plan first and have the most success early, right? Adesanya is good with cardio. He paces himself. He's not a guy that's going to get tired. So if you're going to beat him, you're going to have to rush him. And that presents a lot of risk because he has the range. He's very precise. And that could be, what Costa's always been probably accustomed to, being hit, right? We've seen that in the Romero fight, that he can get hit. He can take a hit, but he can get hit. And if you're his coach, you don't want him to do that. You want him to be a little bit more, I would say, technical brawling rather than just straight up brawling. You don't want him to just walk into stuff just for the sake of it. You want to set traps. When you got a guy like Adesanya who's a more defensive minded, he's going to be twitchy. You know that, right? You know he's going to be twitchy. He's going to be moving. He's going to be trying to stay off the line. So if you're the offensive minded guy, you probably want to be setting traps. And what does that mean, right? What does set trap mean? That means you want to corral him in the direction you want him to go in by using your offense, right? So if I want you to go to your right, I'm going to throw strikes in the opposite direction in the opposite direction to corral you in that direction so that you end up in the position I want you to be in. Can Costa do that? Will he do that? Is he coached to do that? Is he trained to do that? I don't know. I'm not sure. So it remains to be seen. Now, on Adesanya's side, I would say that his last fight with Romero is a tale of two coins, right? You could say on one side of the coin, he wasn't offensive enough. He didn't step on the gas enough to take the fight to Romero. But then the other side of the coin is you didn't have a willing dance partner to really showcase yourself, right? Because at the highest levels of the sport, right, it's not just about winning sometimes. It's always about winning. But it's about how you win sometimes. It's about the excitement you can bring to the fan base to allow people to want to see you again, allow people to want to pay a pay-per-view to raise your stock. And also in the terms of your status in the all-time rankings, how does that come into play, right? What did you do? How did you win all these years to make sure that you were the top of the top? And this could be a statement fight for him. For Costa, he's early in his career. He's on the rise, undefeated, one loss, depending on how he loses, doesn't set him back. And the same is true for Adesanya, right? But he is the champion. He is the one with the hype, with the title, with the accolades at this point, showing that he's one of the great middleweights, of all time. but can you stamp it, right? You got to stamp it now. You got to show people that how I fight is something to be watched. And I think he can do it. I think he can do it. And how he does it, in my opinion, is he has to be more offensive minded, right? He has to engage the bull, right? Make the bull make mistakes, right? And capitalize on those mistakes. Be first. Put the jab on him. Put those, throw those low kicks. Make him react. And when he reacts, you counter. Because he's naturally defensive. So his inclination is always to come back with something after the guy throws something. But you got to make him react. And I think that piece of the puzzle that didn't happen with Romero didn't want to fight. So it's not truly his fault. He didn't want to fight. Romero just didn't want to fight. He was just there to be there and just hope he caught him with one shot. I don't think Costa's going to play that game. Costa's going to be ready. He wants to fight. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw punches. If you're Adesanya, you want to use that against him. You want to make him throw shots. You want to make him to do things that he probably shouldn't be doing. And you want to make it a hard fight for him to feel comfortable throwing that round after round. As those rounds progress, he's going to regret. He should, right? He should regret throwing as many shots in the earlier rounds as he does in the late rounds, because he's going to be getting countered. He's going to be getting, beat up after he throws stuff. And I think that's how Adesanya is going to win. All right. So if I had to choose right now, my prediction on who is the winner, who will win, I will say Adesanya by decision. All right. Well, catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. And if you got any opinions, let me know. Hit me in the DMs. Hit me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And I'll talk to you guys another time. Peace.